Yeah. MD, JPB, it's only right, baby.
Yeah, why you mad? I got a bad bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stuck, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go run it back.
You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of Footage, and I'm back here with another video. And today I am doing What If Asta Was Zoro's Reincarnation, Part 8, The Dark Triad. And you may be wondering one thing, where the hell is What If Naruto Had the Eyes of the Lord? It's coming, it's just that it's the war, so I'm trying to finalize everything. Everything that Madara does in the war has to actually make sense. Because Madara is strong, and just heading in for a new enemy he knows is powerful, being arrogant is really stupid, so I have to make him, like, you know, actually be a good villain. So I'm trying to work on that. That's why it's taking so long. Excuse my timing. The next video will be what if Deku had Mekamoto's powers, because after that, then I'll post What If Naruto Had the Eyes of the Lord. Trust me, it will come. Alright, let's begin this part. So, the last part basically was the entire arc of, you know, beating down Zagrid. If you want to know the specifics, you'll have to watch it yourself, because I don't want to recap all that. That was really complicated. But what you do need to know is that Libe is known to be Asta's contracted devil, and it's going to get him in trouble. Also, Nero has taken her human form. That's basically it. So, let's just begin, yeah. So, a few days have passed until Asta is just walking about with Nero when some shady guys come up to him and tell him to come with them. They also look at Nero, who is walking with Asta, and discuss, and Asta knows what's going on here. Fine, lead the way. And so he follows them, with Libe inside his grimoire saying, those idiots have no idea what they're getting into. And Asta is then brought to the courthouse and is cuffed, as is Nero. And they would have nobles surrounding them from every corner of the area, already mumbling about Asta betraying the kingdom, as this is when Damnatio Kira steps out. I am here today to call forth the crimes of Asta from the Black Bulls. Asta then scoffs at this, with the impertinent king saying he never really did trust that commoner to begin with, as Damnatio then brings out his grimoire and creates this magical scale, weighing the crimes of the two, as he then says, Asta, a child from the Forsaken region. He's a low-class commoner who actually left the kingdom and went out to cause trouble in others. Filthy low garbage? He must have tricked the Wizard King somehow, the nobles will be saying, as Damnatio then goes to talk about Nero's horns, talking about forbidden magic, before then saying that Asta is in contract with the devil and does not have his own magic. However, the Black Bulls have been claiming that the attack on the kingdom was a result of another devil, saying Asta is innocent. Yeah, cause I am. We done here? Asta would say, as Nero looks around, appalled at how much worse nobles have gotten. Even with such a good man as Julius around, discrimination stays the same. If anything, it's gotten worse. Damnatio then walks up to Asta as he bends down and whispers into his ears from the beginning whether or not this trial went well. You or your little group will be ruined, so just be quiet and follow along. He then backs away and goes to say something when Asta says 50%. You're halfway there. What's wrong with him? Has he gone mad? Damnatio would think. But Damnatio just keeps telling Asta to, you know, keeps talking and tells Asta to bring out Libe, and Libe shows himself. Not really, you know, caring what's gonna happen, you know, because he really doesn't care. And when he shows up, the nobles see this, and they only get more offended and disgusted, and Asta says 70%. Damnatio then asks about the devil, and Libe says, we killed him, well, his fake body anyway. Of course, no one believes this, as this is when Damnatio brings out Marie, who was brought out in handcuffs by some mages and shown to the nobles, and Damnatio talks about her background and about Gauche, and it comes to the point where he says that Marie has to be executed for the crimes of Asta, which makes no goddamn sense, as mages then point attacks at Marie. And this is when Asta's face turns to that of a smile, and he disappears and appears in front of Marie. Congratulations, you've reached 100%. He then violently swings, cutting all the heads of the mages off, shocking all the nobles as these headless bodies fall over. Asta, no! Nero would yell, as Damnatio then uses his scale magic on Asta, judging him guilty as he is putting this immense pressure on him, only for Asta to appear in front of him and headbutt him so hard that he is sent flying into the air with his nose bursting with blood. But as he goes into the air, Asta pulls him back and holds him by the neck, saying, if any one of you utter another word, I'll kill you. All the nobles are silenced by the power of the Conqueror spirit, and Nero gets herself out of her cups, running to Asta and telling him to stop. Don't wanna. There's a reason why I never visited this place during my travels. This is why. He then points to Marie. That is why. He then points to the nobles. That is why. I hate this kingdom. His conqueror's hockey only rises more, and Damnato realizes why Asta was counting up. He was counting up the amount of anger built up until he killed me. Us. This is when the walls of the court are ripped apart with the Black Bulls rushing in, and Yami says, "Damn it, Asta, don't kill him." George then flies over to Marie and asks if she's okay, and she nods but cries, saying that because of her, Asta's gonna get in trouble. And she buries her head in his chest as George hugs her back, and he would then look and see the beheaded mages and think, what were these idiots thinking? Yami then grabs Asta's arm, telling him to let go, and he says, "You don't want to do this." "Oh, yes I do," Asta would say, as Nero, seeing no other choice, uses her sealing magic on Asta, causing him to freeze up, and he drops Damnatio, who in panic and anger says that all the Black Bulls are guilty. "The fuck you say?" Yami would say. Yami then walks up to Damnatio and says, "You're trying to tell me that after you tried to murder a child? Guilty? You better keep your mouth shut, we're barely restraining him." He then turns to Asta and asks if he's fine now, and other Black Bulls walk over, and after seeing them and all this chaos he's caused, he decided to chill out a bit and says, "I'm fine. Thanks." He then breaks out of Nero's ceiling and leaves a note as he says, "I'm not gonna prove my innocence, I don't need to. And to think I actually saved you fuckers. I must be out of my mind." Libe were leaving. He then enters his black mode, sprouting wings and flying off, as on the way he passes by Fuegoleon and Nozel, who are blown back a bit by him, and Fuegoleon would then say, "Were we too late?" The two then head to the court and find the ruckus as Yami is staring down Damnatio, so they jump in and stop him from, attacking, and say that, first off, Damnatio is to be in prison until Julius allows him to leave. This is a royal decree. And second, Julius saw that this would happen, so he already knows what's going on, and says that bringing back Asta is a priority, because if another kingdom gets a hold of him in this fit of anger, he's likely to kind of cause destruction in the Clover Kingdom, and the nobles are shocked. But he's just some filthy commoner. Who cares if he goes to another kingdom? Nozel then yells, "Be quiet. Matter of fact, leave this area right now before you're all convicted." Julius never allowed this trial, meaning even if Asta killed these mages, he did right. You're all accomplices in a crime. Magda then says, "So this dumbass really went behind the Wizard King's back just to piss off Asta? Are you stupid?" Damnato then stands up, wiping the blood off his nose, saying, "Devils cannot be allowed in this kingdom. I do not feel ashamed of my actions." Yami then says, "Unbelievable. Well, you better hope Asta calms down by the time we find him, or when he comes back, he'll go after you first. Go, take your sister back to the orphanage. Black Bulls, we're moving out." So, of course, the kingdom is not exactly perfect right now, and luckily Yuno is still there if Asta comes back, but even if Yuno tried, he couldn't beat him. However, Julius did lie about Asta coming back to, become a Kill Bill or something. His magic wasn't able to find that out, but if it's Asta, he might do it. He might just kill all the nobles because he's never been concerned with being a hero. So, just in case, he's saying that to motivate the Black Bulls. So one day has actually passed and we find Asta talking to Little Pechica and Undine, and Undine would say, "Seriously, you cannot just barge in like that." And Asta says, "Sorry, I came here before, so I thought it was fine." Little Pechica then says, "That time you were chased out though." Asta then says, "Really? I thought that Gaja guy just wanted to fight." It's kind of hard to tell since he always has the same face on. Lilo and Undine can definitely agree with that, but still say that to be careful. So basically what happened is Asta left and he came to the Heart Kingdom to calm down. And it started out as a misunderstanding and he and Gaja fought, but he ended up being able to meet the queen and he told her what happened. So he was allowed to stay over for a while, and Little Pechica actually enjoys his company, and she would ask, "So you really have a devil contract?" By accident, but yeah, don't worry though, he's a total softie. This is when Libe forms, telling him to take that back, and Little Pechica says he's actually really cute, and Libe would then say, "You weird humans, I'm a devil. Are you stupid?" Undine then says, "You don't have to give such attitude, but from the sounds of it, you're a strong man." "I guess. Why?" Undine and Little Pechica then nod at each other, and Little Pechica asks if Asta can help with the Heart Kingdom because they're in battle with the Dark Triad, devil-possessed people from the Spade Kingdom, and Libe says, "Lucifero." "So you know of him," Undine would say. "He has possessed one of the humans in the Dark Triad, and he will attack soon, so we need your help. Even without the use of your devil, you are easily arcane levels, so when you work together, you should be an unstoppable force. What do you say?" Asta says it sounds like fun, as this is when they hear a giant explosion, And Asta smiles, thinking, so they came anyway. They must be really pissed. Outside, the castle, the explosion that just happened was caused by Magna, who combined his magic with Zoro and bombarded Gaja with attacks. And Gaja then uses his runes to heal himself, and he stares down the black bulls as Yami readies himself to attack. But then Gaja smiles as he instantly appears on the ship. Calm down. I apologize for attacking you. I just had to judge your rank. As mages, you're pretty strong, and if you two can do superb magic like that, then you're at least level 1. Your captain must be arcane stage level. Yami then sees his sword in confusion as Noel then asks Mimosa, what's going on and what he's talking about. And Mimosa, of course, came along because she's been to the Heart Kingdom before. And Mimosa says that the Heart Kingdom measures magic in a different way, and they actually have a system in place. And Gaja nods, explaining, the power levels from 0 to, 10. The lower you go, the stronger you are. But arcane means you have a unique power. Luck then says that's all fine, but, is Asta here? And Gaja says that they will be brought to him soon. Now, as he says this, a huge water droplet kind of flies over and covers them, picking them up, and they can actually breathe inside. And Noel realizes that this is like her dragon's, cradle, but more controlled. Gaja then waves goodbye to them as they are flown over and dropped into the area where Asta is. And as they land with the, help of Finral's magic, they walk out of the dark area and soon find Asta waiting for them. What are you guys doing here? Asta is then slapped from the back by Noel, with him yelling in annoyance as Noel then asks, "You idiot, what were you thinking?" And Asta is about to ask her if she's going freaking crazy, but then he realizes that she's crying and he freaks out, not knowing how to act because it's still something he's not used to. And Noel then hugs him in tears, so he just hugs her back, confused, very confused. And Asta says, "So, you guys miss me that much?" Zoro then says, "Oh, don't include me in this, I was dragged here." Charmy then runs up to Asta asking if he's been eating good, and he says he's okay and says, "Sorry, yeah, you guys were definitely pissed." Nami then says that's definitely true and he's gonna get punished, but he doesn't have to worry about the nobles anymore because Julius took care of them, so don't go running off next time. That's basically all he's saying. Asta says, sure. When are you gonna stop crying? When you stop being stupid, Noel would say, as Undine and Little Pechiga then come over with Little Pechiga now being in full, queen wear, with Undine saying, "So even someone like you can get nervous." Just what the hell do you think I am? Undine then only laughs at this question, pissing off Asta, as this is when Little Pechiga asks if there is another reason why the Black Bulls are here, and Mimosa gives her an item. Wow, she's super pretty, Mimosa would think, and the queen then takes the item and pops out of it pops a hologram of Julius, who with a smile then says, "Hi. How's it going, Asta?" So Julius then says, "Sorry to intrude in like this, but I would like to propose an alliance." And Rebecca says that's like a super big deal, right? They're just gonna do this here. And the queen then says yes, she wants to work with them because she has no other choice, and soon the Spade Kingdom will attack, and they only have a half a year left because unfortunately after that her curse will kill her. Everyone is surprised to hear this, with Julius then asking what curse it is, and she says that she has been cursed by the devil Magicula, and she has this giant swirling mark on her body that keeps eating her up. Well, that sucks. Well, I can't help in that matter, Asta would say. Little Pechiga then says, well, you can help by defeating Magicula. Liebe then says they're in, saying, I've been waiting for those bastards for a long time. Then we're in agreement, Julius would say, as all the Black Bulls then nod before then looking at Asta, who says, what? I'm obviously helping. Jeez. I feel like I forgot something though. Yeah, you did. From above then lands Yuno with Gaja, and Yuno then points to Asta saying, you forgot to visit Haj, you dumbass. Oh, that's what it was. Sorry. Now we're gonna have a 6-month time skip, as we see a moving fortress moving in between the Heart Kingdom and the Spade Kingdom, and it's moving to the Spade Kingdom, and this is of course the fortress of the Spade Kingdom. And inside it are people who are being sacrificed to this fortress and basically having their magic stolen, which is feeding and moving the place, out of the boundary. Children, women, men, there's not really any specific, thing. They're all having their magic taken away, as a certain woman, while cradling her brother in her arms, then begs for forgiveness, only to be grabbed by the mouth of a soldier, who then drags him to her, leaving her brother scared, and he would say, loot your trash like you can, hope to reach my ears. Got it? His hands then transform as he uses his devil power and berates these people for not being able to use any decent magic, only for his neck to then splurt out blood as his head falls off. And as his head falls to the ground, all around the soldiers pass out and the people look around scared and terrified, as this is when Asta crashes into the area, landing in front of everyone through the window. Hey, you're safe now, I guess. Damn it, I messed it up again. Everyone then looks at him in confusion, with him scratching his head, as this is when Libe forms on his shoulder saying, months of practicing and you still can't do it. Shut up, I'm not trying to be a hero here, okay? Excuse me, sir? Asta then looks over to the girl who is being harassed as she asks what that thing on her shoulder was, and Libe then answers for him as she flies over to the lady. I'm not a thing, I'm a devil. We then cut to little Petrica watching everything from her palace with Undine behind her. You know, she's using her magic, and she says, oh, there goes another fortress. You sound surprised, it's Asta we're talking about. And little Petrica says, I'm not surprised, just relieved. So after that, we're going to go to Luck and Magna, having taken down another fortress. Not fortress, my bad. They've taken down, they've recovered a village that was taken over by the Dark Triad. And they call Asta, who then pops up on the communication, device in hologram form. And Luck would say, we just finished. I mean, okay, am I supposed to be surprised or something? It's you. Let me guess, you already took care of everything, Magna would say. And Asta says, no, I mean, you guys are really strong, but that's why I thought you didn't need. The point is, good work. Luck then salutes, Asta saying, thanks, Vice Captain. And Asta groans hearing this as he cuts the line. And this makes Magna and Luck chuckle. Now, the reason for this is because Asta was made Vice Captain because at his level, he can already become a Magic Knight Captain himself. But he has no reason to. It's not the title that he hates. He's been a Vice Captain before. He was the first mate of Luffy's group. It's just that he hates that his teammates keep teasing him by calling him Vice Captain and bowing or saluting. Now back at the fortress Asta is at, Finral, Mimosa, and Noel appear out of thin air, obviously using Finral's magic, as Finral would then say, alright, get ready everyone, I'm sending you back home. But our home was taken. But then Finral says not to worry as they have already retaken their home, which is where Magna and Luck were. Shocking them all before, someone then asks Asta if he's connected to the Triad in any way, and Asta says, nope, I just want to beat them up. I'm moving on to another one, catch me there. He then disappears, jumping out and just blasting off, with Noel saying that Asta's gotten way too strong to stay as Vice Captain, and Mimosa's then using her magic to kind of heal the people who've been hurt with her flowers, says, well, don't tell him that, he might get annoyed again. So soon after their work is done, everyone goes to Little Petrica and she congratulates them, blah blah blah, before they are then allowed to rest. Meanwhile, Yuno is called to Hodge, where he is told by this guy that the orphanage saved that he is the Prince of Spade. Orsi and Belle are shocked at this, with Orsi asking if he also knew who Asta was. I'm sorry, I don't know who that is, the man would say, and Yuno says, well, can I have some proof? The man then uses his magic to show Yuno his memories, which surprises him, but he says either way, he still belongs to the Clover Kingdom. Don't get me wrong, we're gonna save Spade, we're doing that as we speak, but he's then caught off by a magic device going off as he is told horrible news, and his face shows the terror. And back at the headquarters of the Golden Dawn, a massacre has gone down as the devil-possessed people have attacked, and a particular one with the ability to manipulate earth, rock specifically, rock forms. He hurt a bunch of people, and this is actually people who Yuno now considers friends. They've respected him now, and they acknowledge him. And as he's beating down these people, he turns around to see Yuno flying above him. Oh, were they precious to you? Too bad. Shut up, Yuno would say, as the man's head falls off instantly, with Yuno already walking past him, surpassing the speed of light easily. And with anger filling his eyes, he enters the headquarters, not even needing to use Spirit Dive yet. And as he enters, he is surrounded by a bunch of mist, so he punches the ground, pushing wind everywhere, just blowing back all the mist to reveal a devil-possessed person attacking Klaus and two other members of the Golden Dawn. One is called L'Etoile, which is basically star in... L'Etoile means star in French, but that's not the point here. The other person, I don't really know, but of course Yuno cares about him, as this is when Klaus would say, help us, we're kind of in a tight spot here. The devil-possessed man then turns around shocked, as his magic was completely taken care of so easily, and he goes to attack Yuno, only for his chest to be pierced entirely with a wind ray, and this small hole then expands, completely obliterating the man. So the defenseless three members then actually become free, and they're saved, and they were actually protecting themselves with some type of magic, and the defense goes down. And this is when Klaus says thanks, and Yuno says no problem, wait here, I'll be back. Now as he goes to take a step forward, though, he stops with the ceiling crashing down, and they back away as the area is then filled with bones, revealing a beaten Von Jones and the claws of Zenon. And he turns around saying, so that was you. The others are shocked at this whole thing, and this is when Bell forms with a serious look, telling Yuno to get ready, and instantly he enters Spirit Die form. Zenon then looks and sees his two massacred men with a calm look, and he says, "It's only to be expected. He's then cut off by some kind of wind that passes by him, before then looking forward to see Yuno now had vengeance in his hands. How did he? They twirl in shock and says, "I haven't seen it in a while. It really is shocking how fast Yuno is." Yuno then drops vengeance as he walks, forward, entering his new form, gaining a full crown and a whole robe made of wind constructs. Spirit Assimilation. Spirit Boreas. Yuno then bursts with power, telling the others to get out of here, and they quickly grab vengeance and run away, telling Yuno to stay safe. And Zenon then instantly goes 80%, like 100%. He goes 80% is as high as he can go. He goes 80% right away, transforming and taking more of a demonic form, now being covered in armor made of bones. And he would think, this kid's dangerous. Now back at the Black Bulls, specifically Rebecca, Ghosh, and Asta. There might be more people. They're just hanging out and chilling. And Asta's drinking some booze when Asta and Henry sense something. And Henry in a super slow voice would say, "Hey, you guys." And then everyone hears Henry's voice from above. But Asta takes one sip from his cup, finishing his words. And he says, "The hideout's floating. Yeah, you can take it easy, Henry." Rebecca then says, "Oh, okay, the hideout is..." Wait, what? Asta then stands up saying, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." Now outside, Dante, while floating the hideout while flying himself, is then cut on the cheek with a surprised face. And now outside, while Dante is floating the hideout, he's then cut on the cheek, and with a surprised face, he touches his cheek, seeing blood. Interesting. Falling on it would then be Asta, only, having two wings out, not going full black mode yet, but he is using 3 sword style, and Dante would say, 3 swords? How ridiculous. He then points to Asta using his magic to kind of force him down, but nothing happens, and he becomes wide-eyed as his head is then cut off, as are his legs and his entire torso, with Asta appearing behind him. Santorio. The magic bull hideout then drops, causing the area to shake as Dante then forms himself, looking back at Asta, who says, "Oh, that's gross, just stay dead." "Oh, I like you." Dante then enters 50%, forcing down his gravity on Asta again, but once again it does not work. "Wow, will you at least tell me how you're doing that?" "Doing what?" Dante then freezes, shocked, before then laughing as he says that he hasn't had this much fun in a while, and then he goes 70% and exudes more power, and this is when Asta starts to feel that pressure. "Oh, so this is what you were talking about. Are you getting as excited as I am?" Dante would ask, and Asta says, "Not really." Dante's eyes then widen as Asta lightly just shrugs his shoulders, releasing the pressure on him and imposing his own kind of pressure on Dante, who then falls to the ground as he craters into it, finding it hard to breathe. "What is this? What's happening? Answer me, Lucifero." Now he then entered the inner world of the devil, and with him will be Dante, as he is saying he does not know what is happening to him because he hasn't seen anything like this before. He seems to be imposing his own will upon you. There's nothing I can do except lend you more power, like, for example, the devil heart. Now outside, in the outside world, Asta lands right in front of Dante, who then bursts with the devil magic and just power, and he stands up now having a sort of colorless robe, that's made of pure energy covering him, and he has this star-looking mark on his chest, and he would say, "I'm gonna kill you." Asta then gets in the stand saying, "Yeah, have fun with that." Now as he says this, we cut to the Heart Kingdom with Magna, Luck, and Charmy, and the Guardians having beaten up a bunch of Megicula's men, while inside the palace, Finro and Noel are facing down Megicula. And Finro, seeing, that little Petrica being here is a bad idea, thinks fast and throws a teleporting pitch at her, making her disappear before Megicula can even react, or before little Petrica herself can even react. And Megicula smiles, saying, "Ah, you got me. Not bad." Undine then thanks Finro for doing this, asking where he sent her, and he says, "She's safe and sound with the Wizard King. We can handle things here." They all then nod as Noel's grimoire floats in front of her. As does Finro's, with Noel then combining her power with Undine's and entering her own Spirit Die form. Meanwhile, Finro uses his magic to create a spatial space, which takes a shape of a box. You'll see it more when the manga comes out. That shit looks dope. I hope they make it look good. And Megikula would then say, Undine, I never thought you'd find someone. I can't wait to break her. As she says this, however, Megikula is then teleported right in front of Noelle, who then slams her spear in her stomach, leaving a gaping hole in it. And she would think, she shortened the distance between us so fast. But that was a bad idea. Megikula then burst with blood, which is her magic, using her magic to create weapons that go to stab Noelle, but they are stopped by portals that just stop the spells, and surprising her before Noelle then attacks her again relentlessly, and she would say, what do you think we are, stupid? We've been preparing for you. Now, how will the final battle end? Will our heroes prevail? Find out in the upcoming parts. It's been me, Prince of What Ifs, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I don't know if this is, the second to last part, but the next part will probably be the last. I'm hoping. Yeah, it's definitely going to be the last. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they're all going to die. I kind of just spoil that for you, but yeah. Also, if my voice is a little bit messed up, that's because I yell too much on Thanksgiving. I think it's still affecting me, but I hope you guys didn't notice too much. And yeah, I'm going to end it off here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, to this video and my channel and help me out. And we're getting closer and closer to 18K, so I'm really happy that you guys are helping me out. Seriously, though, I'm really happy. It's been harder to get these out, but I'm doing my best. I hope I get to post the next day right away. If I can't, then it's going to come the day after. That is when I'll be posting the second part of What If Deku had Mechamaru's powers. See you guys later. Peace